What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the King Films College Football Week 1 locks, and let's recap last week. We hit 1-0 with an Illinois +7 lock. They ended up winning the game decisively against Nebraska, as I correctly predicted, and let's move on to the Week 1 locks here. Starting out, we're going to put half a unit each on Boise State and BYU to cover. Let's start with the Boise State game. This is a great game against UCF. Both teams have new coaches, notably Malzahn for UCF, and this should be a close game. I think Boise State will be able to cover here on the road, as it should be a good game, but even if they lose this lock, it's the first week. There's a lot of uncertainty across the board here, but it's only half a unit. So there we go. And then we've got BYU and Arizona playing in Las Vegas. Neutral site slightly favors Arizona, but BYU fans do travel well. They had a great season last year. They lost a lot, but Arizona does seem to be in a state of confusion, announcing that they're starting 2 quarterbacks that will play in the game amid their coaching switch. So I've got BYU covering the -11.5 point spread. Next up, we've got Stanford +2.5. And this kind of tails my college football over-under locks. Stanford needs to win this game, so if you haven't checked out the video, check it out in the top right over there. Stanford +2.5. I think this is great value here. K-State ended last season with 5 straight losses. They didn't have their quarterback, but I think Austin Jones should be able to carry Stanford to victory from the running back position here against a weak Kansas State defense. Next up, we've got Iowa -3.5, and this is another lock that kind of piggybacks off my over-under predictions before. We're going to be shorting Indiana, as explained in that locks video, and I think that Iowa is a quality team, and Indiana just isn't set for it. Indiana got very lucky last year. Iowa was more of a skilled, better team last year, for my opinion, but, we never know. It's week 1, so we'll take a chance. Iowa -3.5, I like the value here. We've got Clemson -3. I think that this is going to be a great game, Clemson Georgia, and Georgia may well win, and that's fine. We lose a lock here early, but Clemson's probably going to just run the table if they can win this game, so this is probably the best line they're going to get at -3. They win by a field goal, and then we push, so I like the value here. Clemson's coaching has just proven to be superior, even though Georgia does have an experienced JT Daniels at this point. I do like Uiagalelei here to lead this Clemson team to victory on the semi-neutral site, which does favor Clemson, of course, at Bank of America Stadium. Next up, I like Illinois to continue their momentum from last week and beat UTSA by at least a touchdown and an extra point, so I like Illinois -7 here. They got a little bit lucky last week against Nebraska, but I think that was mostly Nebraska's wrongdoing. But I think that UTSA is a by far worse team, so we'll see what happens here. Next up, we've got LSU -3.5. Coach O has said that he has a couple great quarterbacks on this LSU squad that has improved over the last season. They started out pretty bad last season, but they got better as the season went on. And this is also on part, this game is at UCLA. I like the value -3.5, only 3.5 for LSU. And UCLA, while they did blow out Hawaii last week, they may have given away some of their playbook. And while, yes, some of the non-starters were playing for the vast majority of that game, I did not like the quarterback play out of DTR. So I'm going to have LSU winning this game by more than 3.5. Next up, we've got Cal -3.5, and the Pac-12 dominance over the Mountain West has just been complete over the past couple of years, and we saw like a Hawaii team that's supposed to contend in the Mountain West, just got beat up by UCLA, so I think the same thing's going to happen here for Cal against Nevada. They've got a healthy Garbers, and I think this game could be toast, the easy one for Cal, even though this was supposed to be one of their tougher games in the non-conference. Next up, we've got Notre Dame -7.5. Notre Dame did lose a lot on both sides of the ball, but I see them covering against Norvell's FSU squad here. An interesting matchup to watch is the Notre Dame offense against the FSU defense, because both sides have a lot of new heads. playing in those starting units. So that will be a very interesting matchup to watch. Those were the locks for week 1. Please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We are currently undefeated, and check out the NFL content as well in the top right here. And thank you for watching. Comment your predictions below.